All right, that'll work. Welcome back to another episode of the Little Green Bryce podcast. As you can see, it's a brand new studio, brand new action, brand new, just about everything here except for the people, because we can't get rid of those.
The haircut's brand new.
As I promised, the next episode I said I would get a haircut, and as like simultaneously everything just worked out so that I got the haircut at the same time. But I'm not the only one that got a haircut. Dimitri also got a haircut. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back. This has been a while. First podcast of 2021. Brand new year. Go ahead.
I just trimmed my nails. That's new.
There you go.
I'm proud of you.
Today, before I left.
Do you like bite them? That's something we can dive into.
I went to the bathroom.
I don't bite them. I used to bite them.
Some people do it as like a stress reliever, like subconsciously.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I did bite a little bit just the other day because it got too long, and then like a part of it was like sharp, so it like it like attached to my clothing everywhere. So
That's what
it's
Aaron
like,
did to me.
Yeah, you know your nails are getting too long when you like scratch yourself and then like blood is just pouring down your arm.
At work I just bleed. I don't know where. No, I'll literally just be walking around. Like literally the other day I was walking around and I looked down at my glove and there's just blood like on my finger and I was like, oops.
Did you lick it?
I had like a paper cut or something, and then I was it kind of hurt though, it stung. And I had like, this is real quick, and then I was holding this pan and I didn't want to put pressure on my finger, and I just dropped the pan on accident. It was shredded cheese and then it was everywhere.
Oh, that's why it was.
Yeah, I've seen that. I have a funny glove story from this morning. So our truck comes today, and we had small gloves, and that was it.
It already came today?
It came this morning, and until it gets there, you can't open the glove. So I was forced for like half an hour to use small gloves with these gigantic.
I just can't wear small gloves.
They like put them on and they just rip it.
When they rip, it's so uncomfortable.
Your arms are probably like this, like you gotta like.
And you're like,
yeah, when I put my
trying to like.
I can't.
It
Like,
doesn't
just,
work.
this part is just squeezed, and like on sandwiches, it's just like.
Oh yeah, you like go to grab like the bacon and you're like.
You can't move your fingers.
Yeah, it's annoying. I hate it. Anyway, another thing that started college. Back into it. I already hate Zoom beyond.
Have you ever done a Zoom call?
I have.
Today was my first
but
day.
like I like
Oh,
remember.
It's my third semester.
I like remember it enough, but then like I don't know, something about this semester just irks me beyond everyone's. I said this in the group chat. Everyone's intellect drops significantly over
I
Zoom,
have a comment.
where people just like they just sit there.
Me and Brandon just go on Discord and talk.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Everyone's distracted or like trying to multitask and do stuff.
Yeah.
In my math class, this is my first Zoom ever, so it's kind of awkward. And then I went into the class, and there's like 36 people or something. And then I emailed the professor because I didn't know how to do this, or like I had to like pay for an online account, but like he didn't really give instructions on how to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I guess it just automatically paid for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that because he didn't really say. And then immediately some girl in the class was like, she's like, oh, blah, 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 question. And then later on, she's just like, I see her in the call, and then she's just like holding her phone against her, and she's just like right in the camera. And obviously I didn't hear anything, so she's muted, but she's not hiding like the fact that she's not even paying attention. And then there's this other chick who didn't have her video on. It was just a picture of her. And then once in a while she'd accidentally unmute and you just hear music playing. And you're just like, what the heck?
I know. So like for one of our classes is like communications, and the one professor likes to call on us randomly, and he was calling on this one girl, and it literally like it doesn't take that long to unmute. It's a button, and so he was like, "Hello, are you there? Hello." Hello, I asked you a question. Are you there? And then like 5 seconds go by, and she's like, "Sorry, it took me a few seconds to unmute." I'm like, it's a button that you tap.
Or space bar, you just click space
Exactly.
bar.
I don't understand like the issue. I don't know.
It's easy.
I think probably she's like falling asleep or something. Like
She's
it has
not-
to be.
She's not paying
There's
attention.
some girl in my
There's
class.
no way that you're attentive and then you're just like.
There's some girl in my class, and like he was doing roll call, and then you could hear everyone fine except her. She was like, and I was like, what? We're having trouble hearing you. And she was just like,
Hear me now?
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then like she just never talked the rest of the.
Yeah.
So my sister was saying that some of her classes that are like they're like lectures recorded from last semester. They're just reposting.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think that's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not kind of like cheap.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of taking the easy way out.
Say-
It's the same material.
Say like your say it's like, oh, that lecture was good. Like I did so well in that little speech.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do it over again. I want
Yeah.
to record it and just.
Yeah.
But it's probably not the best when they do
I
it.
mean,
They
like-
did it once and then just recorded it. and
Like,
never did
you
it
know what I
again.
mean? Like what is the teacher doing instead
too
of
good.
not?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just posting like lectures that he recorded from last semester.
Yeah, like I had a teacher. He posted videos. I think he does summer classes.
Yeah.
So he just posted the exact video, and you could tell that video was old, probably a couple years ago.
That's what I
He's
mean.
been reusing, and he used it for the just normal.
And
semester.
some of like the dates that they say like and do this Friday, August 5th. You're like, it's January, dude. Like,
Yeah. Well, he seemed like he knew to not say any. He never said
Yeah.
dates. When he just. He's
see,
like,
I know a lot of. I mean, this is kind of like the same thing, but like I guess a more acceptable thing. But like teachers use the same like program like thing.
oh yeah, or
all the
like
time.
slideshows even. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I remember my art history class. We had to buy a book, and it wasn't too expensive, but like, she told us that we should read it. But then when I went and read it, it's literally the exact same thing as her PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah.
It's word for word. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wasted money on that.
I mean, that's what I've learned now. Like, sometimes you need books, sometimes you do. Like, there's so many times, like, they say you need the book, and it's identical. Like, the slide is basically just notes from it. And then I've had teachers, they specifically say, yeah, I'm not going to cover everything, so you have to read the books. You're forced to buy a book and read it because they specifically don't teach everything, so you use the book. He specifically was like, yeah, at least half the questions are only going to be from the book.
Yeah,
I
and
won't
then when
teach.
like,
And you're
yeah, I was about to say when they test you on the book, but
But
they don't give you that information.
Yeah.
In my class, my teacher's teaching us how to get it for free, the book.
Let's go.
There you
See,
go.
I wish my teacher did that. It's more. I feel like this semester is more hands off. Like just like read the syllabus, figure it out. I'm like, wow, okay. it's
I have
alright.
2 in-person classes.
Their office hours are like.
Yeah, I know. I knew one of them was in class because I saw your streaks on campus.
Yeah, Compton.
No, but
Straight out. You walk straight out of
Straight. No, but what I was saying is like their office hours are now like every other Tuesday from like 3:05 to 3:45, and it's like, well, are you gonna fit everybody in? No, like they don't want.
See,
they
my
don't want
professor's
help.
like
Just email them.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
to like 12 midnight. Well, actually, okay, I'm
Meet at
assuming it's
midnight.
11 a.m. to like 12 midnight,
Yeah.
but it doesn't say a.m. or p.m. It just
Yeah.
says 11 to 12. I'm like, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Like,
Probably.
that's
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn.
Just stop.
my throat's
Stop.
feeling a little bad.
Did yours stop working?
There we go. Okay. It was weird because you like burped and then it unclicked, and then, so I was like,
My burp.
I was
broke
like, the mic, dude. You just, and then I didn't hear anybody. So then we're still trying to figure out some of the. Oh wait, I put this in the test, but for from now on, every time something happens that's like magical or something.
So loud. Choice for you.
Sorry, it's at 8, so I can get it even louder. But
That's okay.
yeah, yeah. So
T-shirt, long sleeve. T-shirt, longish sleeve.
here's more like a.
But it's a long
a-
sleeve.
You said
Yeah,
the longest.
pullover.
But the sleeve is long.
a longest sleeve of the thing. I need to get
Elon
connectors or
Musk?
something.
Yeah. Speaking of Elon Musk, he's the richest man in the world now.
Yeah, topped Mr. Bezos.
He's destined. Oh, that's insane.
Are they close though? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
are they
Yeah.
like doing this,
Wait,
or is
so
it
what's
more
his,
like Elon Musk is like?
What's his net worth? Elon.
It's got to be like
It's in the 100 billions. Some
Yeah,
shit
it's
like
gotta
that.
be
that's
like-
crazy.
it's gotta be
He
like
actually went pretty high in the
145 or
past couple
something.
years.
Yeah.
Because like maybe 3 years ago it was like 22.8
Oh
billion.
yeah.
yeah.
And now he's there.
Because everything's starting to
That's
line
crazy.
up. Like for a while, it was just building up, and now everything's
Yeah.
fully all the
I
stars
mean, like
aligned.
the thing is, with
Tesla
the
and
companies
SpaceX
he's
and-
like affiliated with.
185 billion.
Billion, not million, billion,
185.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh
been
my god.
like with the companies he's affiliated with in the amount, he's destined to like.
He could buy a
just get up
planet
there.
for that.
There's only one planet.
He's just
What?
like, I'll take.
I'm pretty sure a
7.
planet would be more.
No.
Give me Mars. Especially.
I was watching this. Like clip of like it was like a theory about like the time scale of the Earth, and it was like what's gonna happen when and stuff. And it was like 20,000 years from now, Niagara Falls will be completely eroded into Lake Erie, and it like showed, and it like progressed, and then it's like 100,000 years from now, only 1 or 2 languages will still be in existence due to modern
Will we even be
evolution
on
and
this
stuff.
planet?
100,000. They were saying like 100,000 years from now, there's like Mars will be completely habitable and all this stuff, and then like it just like kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
But I wonder how they predict because you know what I mean. There's some things that you can't predict. Like what you know what I mean. Like
We
what
need
if-
Nostradamus.
But for how are we able to predict that we're gonna have Mars habitable in 100,000 years? But
Well,
you know what I mean.
the biggest thing is it's obviously not a science to predict it. This is kind of they just think, oh well, this will happen
Like,
depending
based on the
trends.
current rate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just basically trends, but,
Possibilities.
yeah, I mean things just because of
reason
trend,
behind
things will always go down, or it's kind of just it's 100% speculation.
It's just I was just gonna say it was weird that it was like so.
Yeah.
You know, to a T, where it was like, well, what if an amplified coronavirus hits us in 5
mean, like,
years, wipes out
Theories and stuff are always
every
like,
female in the.
not accurate when it comes to like. What did you just... But like,
say anything. He just laughed.
but like theories are never like accurate, obviously.
Yeah. I
They're
mean,
just assumptions.
I want to say like there's plenty of like books people wrote like in the 1800s saying things would happen in the future, and they've been like it is crazy
Like
how accurate.
Yeah.
What is that?
You don't know who that is?
No.
He was like a prophet.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that stuff.
I'm
I'm
not
not like
no, like, I'm not talking about like
yeah.
in the Bible. Like he was an actual man that like predicted like certain events.
Yeah, I
that
know.
happened.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm just
The
saying, I don't
Simpsons.
believe there's plenty of people. They just
Yeah.
happen.
Well, no, I'm just going off what you were saying. Like, oh, people have written down things and.
Oh, I mean, like they
happened,
wrote a
like-
book, just like fantasy book, and then it can't. Like for
Whoa.
example, there's a book called A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley or whatever it is,
Aldous
and like he
Huxley.
said all these things he made a long time ago, and a lot of the stuff he's saying is exactly what's happening or it's going to happen. Like how society we've kind of turned into more like Kongs in a machine. You know, that's the whole thing. Like we're basically like the rich are even more rich than they were
Technologically
before. People are just working.
independent.
Like everything
I
he
just said
kind of
that.
said would
Oh, did you?
happen is exactly happening.
You're dumb.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
I just fell out.
All right, so
This
that's
is such
no.
good quality.
This is what you call
That's
good quality.
we are 1 for 3 or 4. Sorry,
Fine.
2 for 4.
I'm not taking math this semester.
Can I get a 2 for 4?
Where'd that tape
You know,
go?
you guys know there's
Okay.
a tape 2 for 4. That's a thing.
Yeah, our sales must be dipping.
Well,
you know,
no, I mean like, do you know about
Yep.
the 2 for 4?
Yeah.
You
What-
actually do?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
there were Wendy's contract for breakfast is
Jalapeno popper sandwich coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
And the new
I'm gonna
pod
eat that.
one.
my
I'm
turn
gonna go to
speak.
Sheets after this. Actually.
Wendy's contract for breakfast is an 18-month contract, and they're saying they might not renew it. So this summer they might cancel breakfast.
Good.
It might be done.
Wait, repeat.
Wendy's when breakfast came out, it wasn't meant to be a limited time thing. Like they started out with an 18-month contract for like the breakfast like program and everything, and they're saying that they might cancel the contract after it's up after the 18 months, which puts you at about July, I think. So there's a pretty high chance that Wendy's might not serve breakfast anymore,
That sucks. 'cause
and
I
then
eat
your
breakfast
hours would
every
be cut,
single day.
Eugene. They'd be
Not
all out of
really.
way. They'd be all out of way. Oh yeah, I was just kidding.
I mean,
You just wouldn't be there 5:30.
how
I get the
popular
most
is the
mani-
breakfast?
I get the most hours out of like all shifts.
It's not that busy.
Because I have a feeling like
It can be busy. Well, okay. See, if you compare it to lunch,
Mm,
it's obviously not busy
yeah.
because it's just not as busy.
Mm.
But with the amount of people, so like labor changes with the flow of business. So
Yeah.
like during lunch, when it's like super busy and we get rushes or dinner rushes, we're gonna have a lot of people during those times, like 7, 8. But like with
Not me.
breakfast being like less busy, we're gonna have less people,
Yeah.
or else money's being wasted.
I'll put it into simple terms. So not that wasn't simple, but I just want to simplify it even more. It's
too complex.
Too smart.
The customers that come during breakfast order just as much food, but there's less customers and there's less workers. So it feels per customer as busy, but
Yeah, 'cause,
it's
like-
it's just not.
Yeah, there's like less tasks. 'Cause, like we don't have a back window, we don't have a front register. It's just like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
Like I'll be doing like headset, so I'll be taking orders, I'll be cashing them out as well, and then sometimes I'll go over and get the seasoned potatoes, so like fry station pretty much. And I'll coordinate the order.
It's like closing, except for closing it never stops, which is annoying. When
And
like,
it's kind of the same.
Friday night, we lost 3 people at 9, so there was 4 of us left, and a $63 order came through at 9:15. I was like,
Yes.
And see,
I thought it
another
was a
thing about-
joke. I was like, what? Because he just, you know what I mean? Like, there's some customers out there, forgive me if you're one of those people, but they look at the menu and they're like, and you're like, oh, okay, they're indecisive. They're probably going to get 1 or 2 things. No. Let me get the triple looks good. Let me get the Baconator. That looks
Yeah,
good.
I hate when they
actually.
start off and
Yeah.
it's just like,
3
you know
large.
what, I'm gonna get that. And it's like, cool, they're only gonna get that. And then they just go on
There's like
and on.
6 4-4s. I'm like, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah.
I thought you were indecisive. And like, out of nowhere.
But yeah, one thing about breakfast is like, there's less on the menu, and so like things are smaller. But like, and another bad thing is like things take longer to cook than
Which
like
is unfortunate.
yeah, like seasoned potatoes cook longer than fries, and then like eggs and sausage cook longer than like juniors and like some meat. So like, and we don't keep as much up at a time because like we only have a certain amount of customers that come, and so like we don't want to have like 10 eggs and 10 sausage up if we're not going to go through all that, because then it'll be wasted.
Yeah.
So we try to keep the amount that we think we'll go through in a certain amount of time, but then say I don't know where we get like a small rush, and then they take all that, and then people come, like more people come, and we're just like now we have to cook all that, and now customers are gonna be waiting, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I thought this was fast food, and it's like, you took all of our shit.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Not yesterday, Sunday, Brandon was on the front and fries at the same time. And then at 2 o'clock, we had 4 people for lunch, so we got like destroyed. And he was like, Owen, I need help. I'm getting pooped on.
We had 5 people on Saturday.
We're getting wrecked. Aaron was so mad.
That's the life of the fast
Yeah.
food.
Watching him
industry.
get mad is silly.
They're not to get too. This might get political, but we don't have to talk about it too much. They're how do you guys feel about the minimum wage? You
It's
know how,
$9.50.
yeah, well, no, they want to make the federal minimum wage
15.
15, yeah,
Yeah.
and every time I read something more about it, my opinion changes.
It'll make the baseline for everything else more.
Yeah, that's
expensive.
what I've been telling for like I think we had an argument a while back on Snapchat, and the thing I keep saying is, and I argue with my girlfriend, and the same thing. She's like, "Oh, we'll be good." So essentially, what it does is, in the very beginning, it's beneficial to people, right? People that are low income for the most part, people that don't make a huge amount of money, it's beneficial because the baseline doesn't come all at once. It's gradually. It's not going to be immediately. Bread's going to be like $30, like out of nowhere. These are just random numbers, but like in the very beginning, maybe a year or even a less. Things will be beneficial, but there will be a baseline. It'll immediately, like, everything will level out, and then basically what ends up happening is people that save money, that becomes more worthless. Everything else balances out, and those people that were making $7.50, it's gonna be just like they're making like $15 now. It's like overall, it's just a little band-aid.
I agree with you, Dimitri, but they're saying that what they're saying is, or the hope is that when, not to like counter argument your whole speech all at once, but they were saying what if you strengthen the middle class by increasing the wages, and then economically each, you know what I mean? So what happens is now instead of people paying for necessities, they can afford luxuries, and that will strengthen the economy. I don't know how much you know about this because I don't know a whole lot about it either, but
So I guess here's the biggest thing, and companies, they want, I don't know if this is directly hitting your point, but this is more of like, companies are there to make money, profit, right?
Yeah.
And so if you increase their wages, they have to meet the same profit or more. Companies, they have to, usually every year, at the end of like a quarter, they want to try to get more. If they're going lower and lower, less investors means the company's going down. So if you increase minimum wage, they want to make money. How are they going to start making money? Other things. They're going to affect the consumer.
But if economically every company is affected all at once, as you would raising the minimum wage, it makes it so that there's less fluctuation. But now if a company, so say like McDonald's says, all right, we can't afford this, this, and this, we're going to machine. Well, then now you have a lot of people out of work, and though it'll make the economy worse. And if everybody did that, you know what I mean? Like nobody can, not every company can afford to get rid of everybody, because then everybody doesn't have a job and the economy goes to shit.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is that, all right, if you make every job now a machine job, you're going to have no one to be able to afford products that you're selling.
Yeah.
So they're saying that now you're not going to be able to fire everybody because nobody has anything to afford, and everyone's just homeless. And
I think your point kind of says
I
why
don't know
minimum
what's
wage
going to
is
happen.
bad, because like you're saying, if you increase minimum wage, a way to counteract and keep your profits is to do more automation, right? So if they were to increase $15 and say it's for now it's like $7.50, so instead of doubling it, what you could do is you fire one person, that person get paid $15 an hour, and you just have that job turn it on. Like overall, what you're saying is like automation is more like you're just promoting it if you're increasing minimum wage, because you have to, like, they have to meet a certain profits. That's what companies are going to do. They're always going to be like, but no matter what, it's just going to always be that way.
Yeah, I agree. But is it going to change? So they're meeting profits now, but now that you're paying your people more, do those profits have to equally correlate with
so like as the workers are getting paid more,
I think
that means it's going to cost them more, but so they're going to increase the price of everything else, which means the consumers have to pay more. And because of that, so basically it's like I said, the baseline where we're going to go exactly where we are now. We're going to get to the same spot again every time you raise it. We're going to be in the same spot.
I also think so for us, for people in Erie, Pennsylvania, where it's $7.25, $15 an hour is that's such a big gap.
Yeah,
that's
double.
huge.
Yeah.
Compared to the people in New York who are making like $13.50. Like the one kid that I knew, his name was Josh. It was like, what's minimum wage? He's like, oh, I'm making minimum wage over in New York. I was like, well, what is it? And he's like, well, it's like $13.50. It's like, dude. He's like, yeah, but everything's so expensive. I was like, well, okay, so then you must come. So when you shop in PA, you must feel like you're a bazillionaire. He's like, yeah. And I think what the hope is that if you raise everything to a certain level, it's a huge jump for Pennsylvania, but that's a microscopic like footstep for New York.
Yeah, and that's why
I don't know if it'll balance it or anything.
The one benefit because I thought about like with pros and cons. The only biggest pro I've seen is when you're buying stuff online. Whatever is online, it's always gonna be the same price, right? For example, if you want to buy an iPhone, it's always gonna be like $1,000 online. So if your minimum wage is higher, technically it's gonna be cheaper for you now. Yeah. So there is like the benefit is things online is cheaper, and that's why a lot of times people in Pennsylvania, at least it doesn't seem, they're not as common buying stuff online as it is in like California. It is huge.
Yeah.
Like I know like when I sold stuff online now, my brother sells stuff all the time. A lot of his sales comes from California. Like it's crazy, like stuff like that, because the minimum wage is so high. Like, so like there is benefits. Online's gonna be cheaper. You're right. If you go to another state, things it'll be technically cheaper. It's
so here is the thing though. Do we want everybody in fast food making $15 an hour throughout the whole country? You know what I mean? Like so to combat like people like my dad is a professor, how high would his wage have to rise to feel that he has a significant amount of worth? The fact that he went to college for 10 years, you know what I mean? Like now people like him, or people in middle class or upper middle class, or you know what, people throughout are now feeling like, well, now don't
would you bump theirs up as well?
Like, that's what I mean. Like, don't also I have to be like equally percentage a percentage of my salary needs to be equally met because I feel like I'm not as worth as much if you just raise everybody up, but then keep me here. Like
I actually it's the same thing because I talked to my girlfriend about this like last week. The whole thing in an argument. She had no counterpoints at all. It was kind of, and then what ends up happening like every time she just stops listening. I'm like, okay, but yeah, the one thing about this I said is like, I think another thing about increasing minimum wage, I think. Overall, I think it would hurt the middle class the most, right? I think the middle class always gets fucked over in everything. The rich doesn't affect them at all. It's whatever. They're still getting their profits. The poor, I mean, it's going to benefit for a short time, and then the middle class gets affected over anything like this. Because when you increase the minimum wage, you're right. They have to compensate it. But one thing they can do, which it does happen, they're not going to balance it as it was before. They're not going to be like the same amount they're making now, like ratios and all that stuff. Like, let's say I'm making like $10. If it's the minimum wage is $7, they're not gonna make, and if it brings to 15, and so there's a percentage. It's not gonna be like balanced. A lot of times, what they'll end up doing is you end up making less after the minimum wage. Not always, but they can get away with it, right? A lot of times they get away because the company's about making money, so they will do it.
Yeah, the ratio. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. So Eugene, you and I are ships. My bad.
We're ships.
My first stutter in like half an hour. Anyway, you and I are shift supervisors. So now they raise the minimum wage, and now. Are the crew members making?
They probably put you to like 16 or 17.
Yeah,
it won't be that. It won't be that much of a.
Can they afford? Can they even afford
that's
that?
A lot.
Like $17 an hour.
Increase the prices.
Yeah, everything wants to go up.
Are you going to tell me? But even on it, so they obviously when you switch the minimum wage, it switches over on a down. You don't just do it. All right, gradually we're going to switch over the minimum wage. Over the next course of 10 years, it would be smarter, but then prices would rise at the equal amount of time, and then you're just.
That's
what's
like
the point?
I think the biggest.
So are you saying that I'm making however much now? You're gonna increase my enough where I feel more worth than the crew member making 15. You're talking about raising me like an extra $7.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, now you got a shift supervisor in college making like 30 grand, 35 grand a year. It's just like, wait, what? That's absolutely crazy. That's not.
But like, and another thing, like you think a long time ago, minimum wage was incredibly low, and people said, "Oh, things were so cheap, gas." And I think as you increase minimum wage, I think in the long run, I don't know, it just appears this way. Things do overall just feel more expensive, right? Everything, like the cost of bread, how it feels compared to like minimum wage. Back in the day, bread was so much like not just cheaper because of inflation, all that, but it just felt like people said it was just.
And
it was
gas,
like nothing,
like
yeah.
Milk as well.
Well, gas is going up because of other stuff, but like common things just even felt cheaper, more affordable to begin with. But as you increase it, I do think like it's kind of like things feel more expensive. But there's a lot of things at play, right? The population's higher, so you got to make things feel more expensive because there's more people, and you got to supply and demand. There's a lot of things into play there, but. I think overall, like, I don't see, it's just a Band-Aid. There's no real meta from increasing minimum wage. Like, what does it really achieve?
The problem...
Short term, yeah, if things feel better.
The problem with economics is the more you do to the economy to make it restrictive one way or another, a minimum wage is one of them. A wage cap is another. There's thousands of things you can do to an economy. The more you do to the economy, the less effective it'll be. So... Like, I think you're right. I think it's a Band-Aid for now, but... Was that noise
I just heard
weird?
you were like, just...
Yeah, continue, sorry.
No, it was funny too. I like heard like the echo, and I was like, that kind of sounded like a Star Wars creature. But you know what I'm trying to say.
But
Say I know what you are.
And I think another issue with it is like at face value, you just think, oh, $15 an hour more. Like most people are just gonna think it just sounds good, right? Like that's the thing about like it just sounds, oh, $15 an hour.
Well,
I mean,
not that much.
So yeah, I mean like that's
most people, it's that's an understatement. It's more like everyone except the 1% is like, oh yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then I'm gonna get paid more too. Like what?
Is $30,000 a year even middle class? Or is that
No,
lower
it's
than
not. I don't even know anymore. Dude.
I think that's like
I think
lower
it's an
middle.
average like 50.
Yeah,
Could be.
it's
Yeah.
like 40. Yeah, 45 to between 45 and 65 is considered middle class.
Yeah. But like overall, I don't know. I don't see the issue. And like I said again, it does hurt the middle class, and I think they always get pooped on. No matter everything that goes on, the middle class always gets shit on for anything like this. Like the rich doesn't matter.
Have you ever taken a? Have you ever farted a little too hard? Got a little poopy coming out.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I hope they don't do
Some
it.
people are saying yes.
Yeah, I
some
hope
people are
not.
saying no.
Like
that's another thing. So it's so easy, you know what I mean, for me to be like, okay, no, you don't need that. But then there's like people that are literally like can't afford rent or
Well,
feed
I
their
think some of it's like
children,
the $15 an hour is like for like more like adults like in the 30s
Yeah.
that like still make minimum wage, so it
Yeah.
make it easier.
That's actually an interesting concept if they were to do like minimum wages staggered depending, and then you go
On
in
your
like
age?
ages, like that also gets kind of weird. Like
once you turn-
someone that's maybe 20, 21 years old, right, and they have kids and a family, maybe they might need it a lot. Like it's hard to define like minimum wage if you go by age. I mean, just because you're 30 doesn't mean you really like. Someone can be a bachelor, lives by themselves. Means, and then it could be a guy that's 21
It's
years
weird.
old. We know people.
It
like
could
that.
range so
Yeah.
drastically. Like someone like who's still young in high school, they could be like, "Oh, but I need this money for the future because I."
Yeah, it's like I know what's coming.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I was like, I want to prepare. Why is it the so and so who didn't even graduate high school?
I mean, because you could say anyone
making
needs the money.
yeah,
But like some people would just spend it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But doesn't I
They
think
don't
the
care.
ideal
Why'd
situation?
you look at me?
No, I was thinking of someone at work.
No, I admit I like the concept of as soon as you have it, spend it.
Why?
I don't do that anymore.
Here's
do
the
you like
thing,
that, Colin?
because a lot of people are like, well, you're just wasting it, and in some cases you might be right, but I'm smart with what I spend on, if that makes sense.
Are you?
Sure.
Yeah, these
Well,
money
Your car, your
It's a good
lightsaber?
investment.
Okay, so that's what I mean. In some cases, I'm stupid with my money. In most cases, though, I invest in things that I will
What would you
gain
define?
use out. So my PC,
I'm not doubting you. I'm just
See, that's
wondering.
a good
a
investment.
good
Yeah.
investment.
He needs to
right.
play
What
video
else?
games.
This. Well, I guess it wasn't really my money. I suppose this was the IRS.
So where's most of your money going to good things?
You need car parts.
Maybe,
so car
maybe-
can go faster. and
Maybe a
forward.
topic for a different time. You know.
I can't.
But I mean, you're
think
right.
right
Yes, the increased minimum wage. Like I save money all the time. I've been saving money. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, for this, it would hurt me a lot. It would, all the money I spend would basically be more worthless, which is something I don't want. So I might
Unless
as well
you
just go and
invested
spend
it.
it all now.
So what you should
Even if
do,
you invest it, I mean,
Dimitri,
Put
what
it
you
in
should
Tesla.
do. Yeah, I was gonna say what they do if they announce that they're gonna do this minimum wage, just buy Bitcoin.
yeah. But I mean, here's one thing about it, right? So if I were to put all investments,
Crypto mine.
you probably won't see a return for a while, right? Because ideally, eventually, I'm
that's-
going to graduate school. That's why I'm
They're
saving
saying
that money.
at least 25 years.
Yeah, like when you invest, you even in a couple years, you usually don't want to take it unless it's like crazy, it goes crazy,
like
like
Tesla did.
500%, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like for the most part, you put in after a couple years, the taxes are really high investment, and especially since like how the presidents are changing. Like Trump, one thing he promoted was investments and stuff like that. But now Biden, nothing against anything, but like he's going to heavily tax investments more. Like it's going to be a lot more. So this would be the worst time to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you don't plan on taking it for years from now. So especially for me wanting to do it, and eventually I'm going to need it in a couple years because graduate school. It would make no sense. I would end up probably losing money
Yeah.
then.
So basically, in your situation, what would actually be like the golden standard to say like 7 years from now they raise the minimum wage, and then it's like right after you've spent it all.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, go ahead.
Another thing I was thinking about actually, like about debt, like the minimum wage. You increase minimum wage, debt becomes more manageable because all that money goes up. So if you say you have your $10,000 in debt, it becomes way
Yeah,
less.
it'd be way faster to pay it off.
So like that's another benefit. I thought. Like there is benefits, but it's like I don't know. Does it really? outweigh?
Doesn't Biden want to get rid of like the
Yeah.
college debt?
Yes.
Some of
Student-
it,
Yeah.
it's like 10% or something,
I hope
or is
like
it 10,000?
I
pretty
think
sure
it's
that-
$10,000, and so it's just 10, which is nice for like almost everyone. They'll benefit from, unless you've a scholarship. Like my
See,
sister,
I have
she
a-
gets no
That's
benefit
what I was
from
gonna
it.
say.
But wouldn't you,
now
would they
I-
give you money or this?
Now
No,
I have
nothing.
a problem.
She gets nothing.
That's
out
what I
of it.
mean. Now I have a problem with it. So now the kids that are in debt are being rewarded with money, and now because I was smart and went to a school I can afford,
Yep.
and went in a direction that I felt was necessary while also managing my money, I'm now left behind.
Yeah.
But then you can also like say the people that have like worked so hard for scholarships and then like worked their asses off for scholarships, and then it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
this scholarship, why would I work for it if this would have
If I could have been in debt and then it could have just gotten
That-
paid
that's
for.
the thing I feel like I'm very good. Like I try to have like no, like I have like no college debt because I pay it all off at once.
Yeah.
So this is just like I just
face.
I lost $10,000.
Right. It's like when you're on the playground in second grade and Johnny can't keep his hands to himself, so then nobody gets recess, and then it's like, well, I'm not Johnny.
Yeah.
Like I'm responsible. Well, Johnny's not responsible.
Yeah.
And so Johnny gets 10,000. You get a candy corn that is on.
Yeah.
I could go for
I could tell you like 40 stories about candy corn.
And that's another thing I was talking to my girlfriend about, like how college is like, oh, there's something needs to be done about college to make it like way more affordable, make it cheap or free, whatever. It's like, I mean, the bigger issue about that is, for example, if you make college almost free, like super cheap or free, most colleges are gone. The only ones you're gonna have is like high end, like very like Penn State Barron would be gone. Main campus Penn State would be there.
Yeah.
Main camp like Pittsburgh would be, but like almost all colleges would be gone.
Edinburgh would be gone.
Yeah, and most that would end up happening is basically none of us would probably be going. Almost no one's going to college. Only like high end, like really.
So
smart
what
people
you
are
need to
going.
do is there's a graph of how much worth you get out of a degree, and that the tuition rate needs to follow that graph, I think. But instead, it's not. It's kind of going wherever the college feels it needs to.
Well, I mean, a lot of times like colleges don't even make that much. I mean, more expensive ones do, but like the prices they're putting is like prices they should be doing. But beforehand, the state paid for colleges, and that's how it worked. Like the state paid a huge percentage, and that's why people could afford it. But now more people are going. The state, has to pull more funding because they have to spread it out more, and by doing that, it's way less. I don't remember what it was, but like your grandparents probably they paid like 70%, 50%
That's what I'm
of
saying,
your
the
college.
worth-
Now it's literally like you get 5%. Like it's just so fucking low because there's so many people they have to pay
It's
for.
like the worth of a college degree is that like employer or something, I don't know. But then it's like the cost of a college degree is like 300% more than that. Than
Yeah.
what, and it's like, whoa,
yeah.
what?
And another thing is, more people that do it, the less valuable it is. A bachelor's degree is basically worthless now. Like my grandpa, a long time ago, he went to college for engineering. He got a bachelor's degree, worked. By the time he retired, the dude that took his position had a PhD.
Yeah.
An engineer, or a doctor in engineering. I don't know what it was, but he said he had a doctor, and he had a train to do with the doctor, and he was like, how times have changed from like just a bachelor for his position for needing a doctorate. It's just
I would say it's very position based. So like if you're looking for a job that requires a bachelor's or above, you're gonna want the above. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're looking for like a mid-grade job and you're overqualified, they're less likely to hire, or that person is less likely to apply for that position because their revenue, you know what I mean? Like, well, I paid $400,000 for my degree. I'm not gonna get a job that pays me $60K a year.
Yeah.
So, I think the danger is that like, if you're gonna go big, you better get a job that can equally match like how big you went in college. Where it's like,
or else it's kind of worthless.
and then you're competing with Wang Chang from
Chang.
from Wuhan with 8 PhDs, and you're like, oh crap.
I mean,
Maybe I can't afford my. Was that? Nah, I'm fine. That was good, right?
No, that's good. That's a good name.
Okay, that was okay.
That's a name.
but I mean, one thing Germany does, which is actually really interesting, so they have a whole system where not everyone goes to college, right? You have to there's tests you take and stuff to define where you're gonna go. So college, I don't know if it's free or I don't know what they're doing. I don't remember. My relative lives in Germany, and I know a little bit, but basically they go to college. I think it is free or whatever, but some people go to college. Obviously, a lot of people don't. Then they put people into trade schools. For basically almost everyone is set up with something. But if you're really low, where you're not even good enough for a trade school, then you would end up at something like McDonald's. But there's a whole system of where you're gonna go, and I I mean, that works. A lot of people do kind of like, people that could be really good kind of get shut at. Like, and there's plenty of people, they're really smart, but they are not school smart. Because, I mean, school in general is defined by memory. Does memory mean you're smart? I mean, I don't know. Memory and, like, understanding is two different things. So someone can be really good at understanding, or they could be really bad at memory. Like, I know I'm terrible at memory, but I'm really good at, like, critical thinking and kind of understanding things.
Like
but,
logic?
Yeah, but my memory is terrible. Like, it is bad. The way that I remember things, it's just understanding what the thing is, but, like, just remembering things, I can't. Memory's bad. And, like, so, like, the thing in Germany, I think their system, it works very good for people that have good memory, but... So everything, you know, there's pros and cons for anything.
What's nice about Germany, though, is they have way less people.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
And
U.S.
they have way less types of people. Like, the U.S. is like a literal mixture of, like, you know, like...
Everyone.
You know where it's like that... It's like a recipe, and it's like, we're going to make chocolate cake. The U.S. is like a chocolate vanilla Mexican burrito on top of a cereal... mixed with
It's pretty
you know
much
what
American food.
Yeah.
No, I said burrito.
No, I was making a joke.
A breakfast burrito.
You like American food? It's like so much.
Yeah, just everything.
It's just it's one big buffet of people that you can't really. Well, it works for the green beans, but hell, that turkey ain't gonna learn shit.
But nowadays trades are really good.
Yeah, trade schools are really, like, it's super beneficial. Like, honestly, if I was thinking about going to trade school before I went to college, 'cause I was thinking, like, college is so saturated, there's so much stuff to do. If I want to go, I'd have to go to graduate school, but, like...
Yeah. I would say in the next 5 to 10 years, they're really, really going to take off. Like, people, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see, like, 50-50, like, outside of high school. Like, what are your plans? What are your plans? Well, college, trade school,
this
college.
or that.
Yeah, like, I noticed on my way out of college, they were even kind of, like, wondering, do you want to go to college? And they were trying to even promote, like, trade schools, like, oh, this is open. And, like, before, and, like, that wasn't as big deal. It seems like they're trying to promote trade schools more, because they do notice, like, funneling people into college is not the best, because college isn't
like,
for anyone,
like,
most people.
Back, like, during the 20th century, it'd be like, oh, less people would be going to school. Like, more people would be, like, working or going into the military of some sort.
Yeah.
But then, like, but nowadays... It's like, oh, you should go to school.
Yeah.
You should go to college. But like, yeah, I think in the future, like, people start.
Yeah, I've always hated the mentality of be who you're supposed to be, and it's like, well, shouldn't I be who I am? And like, no, go to school, be who you're supposed. I'm not good at math.
You don't have
it
to go to
doesn't
college.
matter. You'll learn math, and then you get like $400,000 in debt, and then you're like, well, bruh, I don't even have a degree to show for it. I'm now working at Wendy's my whole life.
Yeah. Or there's people that have a degree. Like, I worked at Walmart. Like, everyone, like, a whole bunch of they all have degrees, and, like, they're all bachelors. Like, this whole group, all of them do, and they're like, oh, you're working at Walmart? Nice.
Yeah, my mom has 2 bachelor's degree and she works at Home Depot now. But
Yeah, I mean
my
yeah,
dad
I mean,
doesn't have
exactly.
any, and he makes like a
exactly.
lot.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, be who you are and not.
And, like,
who
my
you're
dad,
supposed
so he has 2 master's degrees in 2 things. He has nothing. I think it's like it's in history and then physics. He works in business. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
It meant nothing. He wasted his time, wasted his money. I mean, it was kind of free with other stuff, but, like, yeah, he just wasted his time.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was
Learning
fun. I mean, he
experience.
did,
I mean,
like...
you do. So okay. So in some cases, I would say like they hire you, whether you've just because you've been to, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So say I have a master's in this. It doesn't necessarily reflect on the direct knowledge needed for the job, but it's like, well, if he can learn this and he made it all through that, we have a pretty good, he's a pretty good investment. If we put him
Well, not everything. Like, what if you need like a master's in engineering?
Oh, yeah.
A guy
No,
apply
I'm-
with a
yeah,
master's in liberal arts.
Yeah, so say
what are
I'm
you
a
doing?
communications degree and I go to apply at like Tesla, and then they're like, as like a, you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to be a head engineer for
Get out.
designing automobiles, and they're like, what's your degree? Communications, and they're like, yeah, we'll try you out, man, but do you know anything? I'm like, well, I can learn it.
Yeah. I think it works.
But I might passed high school algebra, man.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're looking for like top of the line calculus. No, you don't need that. I know what you need. Hire me.
Yeah. I mean,
Communication.
it's right for like there's jobs that like require higher education. I would say in my dad's case, like he has it because he has a master's degree,
Yeah.
even though his master's degree doesn't directly correlate with it. So you're right, like mastery it can be universal in some circumstances.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there's definitely some places where you need to have a master's in engineering to do that. You can't just have whatever.
Do you need a degree to be a DM at Wendy's?
No.
No.
Because they make a lot.
Yeah.
My head's
I mean, there's plenty of jobs that don't even need college, and you can like.
Make absolute ludicrous amounts.
And my
of
dad's job, a lot of people like come in with like bachelor's degree now, or
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin, well, they have it's a weird relationship. But I think it's like his stepdad. It's like his real dad, but he doesn't live with him. Anyway, his older brother is a year younger than us, and he works in an auto body shop for high end cars. So he does like Lamborghinis and stuff. And there's actually even a picture with him that I wasn't able to see for some reason with one of the princes from Saudi Arabia. He worked on his car and got paid unbelievable amounts of money. And he's
Wow.
a year younger than us. And he's like, I'm not going to college. Why would I go to college? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm making like $400K a year doing an auto body on exotic cars. And I'm like,
Yeah. No, I mean that's exactly like.
you have to be really good to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, but how awesome, like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things, it's a mix of luck and, like, getting something good. Like, for example, starting a business. It is huge. It's, like, there's a lot of things, but luck is part of it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, plenty of people can start their own business and whatever and then become rich and all that stuff. Like, plenty of people
You have to have a lot of people that see potential in your idea.
Yeah.
You can't just, like, come up with, like, random nonsense and be like, look.
I mean, you have
Yeah.
to.
Well,
I have
you
a
know,
business.
remember Pet Rock? He made like $1 million off of that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's plenty
a
of
lot
dumb
of
ideas.
people were just like,
Yeah, the pet rocks.
like, you buy a
It's
rock.
a rock and it's a
And
pet.
it's like
gosh.
it's like your pet rock,
Yeah.
and you like call it.
I mean,
stuff,
like,
and it
special.
doesn't
Things
move.
can
or
seem
it
so
stays
basic
there.
at some point. I mean, like, obviously that's basic as heck, but like, like Legos.
Yeah.
I bet at first I was like, that's stupid. That's
Yeah.
put
Oh,
this on
yeah,
that,
there was a
like,
lot of
that's
trouble.
dumb.
The Lego company, they did all kinds of stuff. They started with wooden toys,
yeah.
and now they're
And see, it blows up eventually.
yeah.
Try
But,
it.
like,
Lego's got like affiliated with so many different brands,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
or
I know there's
franchises.
like Lego Frozen and
There's
stuff.
it's like
Disney
Disney
Fortnite.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's
Lego Fortnite, yeah.
And then there's like Star Wars, Harry Potter,
Mhm.
Dude, I have
Marvel,
so many
Indiana
Lego Star Wars.
Jones.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones,
You got me a Lego
Indiana-
Star Wars set for my birthday.
Indiana
like,
Jones.
12 years ago. You
Indiana
remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
I remember everything.
I was like, what,
Mhm.
9?
Yeah. We watched Karate Kid.
Oh, with me, you, Alex.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Karate Kid,
The
Cobra Kai.
it was the
That's
new
a
one,
good-
right?
Mm.
I haven't finished. I was just watching it before I left.
It's good.
It's getting. I actually like the season most.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty good.
I haven't
And
watched
then like
it yet.
it's crazy.
I'm sorry. No.
Wait, he already has the functional headset and the defunctional
Yeah,
chair.
don't defunct me.
Defunct it anymore.
It's getting crazy. It's already crazy how many actors they brought from the original 1980s
Yeah.
movie into this.
I think why it's
It's
so. I
awesome.
think that's why it's so popular because everyone's like, "Well, where's this guy now? Oh, he's in there."
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
just got to the part. We'll start the
Well,
new
yeah,
episode.
wait,
I started the new episode where
with who is who?
she's just like, "Yeah, mom." You know,
Yeah.
I already got those presents. You know what I'm talking
I'm
about?
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Being discreet.
That was a pretty good episode. I feel like
That was a good episode of Cobra Kai
I feel
that
like
I
we
watched
did
today.
good. Wait,
Check it out.
that was the wrong button. I'm so sorry. I'm still learning some of the controls. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Little Green and Bryce. We like you very much. And thank you. No, some things on coming your way. I am working on another music video.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna try to make this one not as what's the word? Visually cringy as last time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I thought the roof scene was pretty good.
The dancing was not.
The dancing on the
Yeah.
roof.
Mm.
No, I'll tell that later. Okay, thank you for joining. See you. Goodbye.
Join it.
Bye.